What's up, metalheads? I am back, and we're gonna check out this massive beauty, Black Sabbath. Anno Domini. Am I saying it right? Anno Domini. Here we go.
Welcome to Eric's React and Review. Music, comic books, movie trailers, toys, and more. Please hit subscribe.
Yeah, hit subscribe. Hey, it's been a while since I've been on YouTube and doing the metal block thingy. I've been taking a little break because I had a lot of work to do with my day job as an alcohol and drug counselor, and also I've been writing music. So I've been just sort of isolating myself a little bit and trying to finish these songs up. I got one song that I'm pretty sure 90% done, and I'm shooting for a July release for a single. If anybody's interested in my music, look up AIR-IK. That's Eric, just like my name, Eric. Spotify, iTunes, whatever. I have two songs by a project called Death Cryptopia. I don't even know how to spell it. DEATHCRYPTOPA. Death Cryptopia. Kind of like Utopia, but Death Cryptopia. Anyway, and the song I'm going to be releasing in July is a song called Sinister Mary. Been in the works for a while, and I'm finally getting it done. So yeah. Anyway, we're not here for that. We're here for Black Sabbath. Anno Domini. This is the Tony Martin era. 1989 to 1995. What was I doing around then? Why was these albums so much under the radar? Why did I miss them? I missed the majority of them based on okay, let me think about it. 83. I bought Born Again on cassette. That was with Ian Gillan, and I love the cover. I've always loved that album. And I'm hoping that they reissue that. And from what I heard, that they are going to remix it and reissue it because they found the masters to it. Before that, I was in the Black Sabbath, obviously, with Ozzy. I think my first Black Sabbath record I think I ever bought it was a picture disc. It was the greatest hits. It had the picture disc with the Rembrandt. I think that's the artist named Rembrandt, the painter that has, he has like these massive sceneries, and there's all these like little things going on in the scenes. And it was on the picture disc. So, they had it looked like a farm with some pigs and whatever else going on around there. But I just remember me and my little brother just jamming that record all the time. I remember Sweet Leaf and getting into that song, NIB, I believe it is. Well, we always liked the song Sweet Leaf because we always liked the way he goes, we'd always imitate that. It's like, then later on you get older, you're like, oh, he's smoking some weed. So anyway, fast forward, Born Again, Black Sabbath comes out, Oh, and I did get it. I think my first introduction to Black Sabbath, now that I think about it, was even before I got the picture disc. Because, I got it kind of late in I was like maybe 13 or 14 when I discovered Black Sabbath with Dio. And I maybe at the time, kind of getting into rock and metal, I probably didn't really put the two and two together that it was like the same band or there was, were the singers. Because around that time, I was also getting into Ozzy's Diary of a Madman record. So, all these records were hitting at me at once. I had a friend that I hung out with. His name was Michael Healy, and he was like my neighbor, and we were like pretty much like best friends. And we'd go to his apartment, and his brother was in the military. So when his brother was off, on deployed or whatever, we'd go up in his room and just scour through all of his records. That's where I discovered like the Eagles, Led Zeppelin, and the Black Sabbath Live Evil album. He had that, and that always kind of stood out to me. I remember us playing it, and I was really liking it. But then, like I said, I ended up getting that Ozzy record, not Ozzy, but Black Sabbath Ozzy picture disc, the greatest hits. And I remember me and my little brother really jamming that. So that was my familiarity with Black Sabbath in that time. 1989 comes around. I think this thing starts off with 89, even though there was an album before it with Tony Martin. But the reason why that's not in here, The Eternal Idol, which I think came out in 87, maybe. Is because it was on a different record label and because legal issues and licensing and all that stuff, they couldn't get it. This is all IRS records for these. So, but even then, like I didn't know what the Eternal Idol. Like I said, after the whole Born Again, I just kind of lost track of Black Sabbath because I was getting more into like Twisted Sister, Motley Crue, Rat, and all those bands, and then the glam scene hit, like with Pretty Boy Floyd and Skid Row and Guns N' Roses, all that stuff like that. And I was in a band, we just formed a band Willow Wisp in high school. And then we were getting ready to move to Hollywood in 89. I was drinking a lot around that time. for those who don't know, I'm an alcohol and drug counselor, but I'm also an addict in recovery. 12 years sober, but I did battle of addiction for close to 25 years with alcohol and then later on some methamphetamines, cocaine, and stuff like that. But alcohol was always like my main poison, and the other stuff was just there for, I guess, to entertain me when I'm not drinking. um, anyway, so I missed a lot of music around that time. Even though I was in the band, we were performing in Hollywood. We got signed to a label. We were just doing, pretty much doing a lot of cool stuff, band wise. But but myself wasn't really keeping track of what was coming out and stuff. So these albums, from what I understand, were already kind of scarce because they were really popular in Europe. We're gonna go through the box and see what's all in it. I can tell you from the back, the records that it comes with is Black Sabbath, Headless Cross, Tyr, which is TYR, Cross Purposes, and Forbidden. And we'll go through those a little bit. But yeah, so I missed the whole Tony Martin era, and it wasn't until like later on, maybe past 5 years or so, I've been sort of streaming what I could on iTunes or whatever. I still haven't really bought anything on vinyl because, if one, to buy the vinyl or even CDs, some of the CDs are just really up there in price, and I think because they were so scarce back in the day, it was hard to get them around that time. And again, at that time, I was kind of in my addiction. I wasn't really into buying new music or anything. I was just getting whatever somebody came along with a record or a CD and handed it to me or let me borrow it, then that would be it. Then I'd probably end up pawning it for drugs or alcohol. So, but yeah, that was my sad life in music around that time. But I bounced back, and now my whole world is music. And yeah, so I do this and everything. So we're gonna get into this box. What's in it? The packaging is really nice. I have to say, I paid like $94 for this. It was like $99 when it first came out for pre-sale. And I got it on Amazon. I pre-ordered on Amazon. If you pre-order on Amazon, you don't have to pay anything up front. It's basically like they're holding your place in line basically, and they just ship it out as soon as it is released. And then you typically get it on the release date. Like Amazon will ship it out like a day before, and you typically do get it on the release day. There's been a few times where it's gotten delayed a couple of days or maybe even a week for a new release, but primarily. And then not only that, but you pre-ordered at $99, and then by the time it's actually released, it drops down in price sometimes. Like they'll, like be on sale or something. So it dropped down to $94. So, but still, for a box set like this and the things that it comes with, I did open it already. I already know what's inside it because I wanted to listen to the records. And so I'm doing this just for those of you who want to know what's inside it, but haven't gotten it yet. And maybe this will get you to get out there and get it. So let's do this. And so, yeah, so it came in on time. And here's the back. I always put the hype sticker on the inside box there. Kind of tells you everything you get it. There's 4 LPs, but I'm not gonna let you read what's in it because then that spoils everything. I'm already gonna tell you what's in it. Come on, man. Okay, so I'm gonna put that there. And then here's like the page that comes with. These are usually taped onto the back of the box, but I usually like to put them inside the box. It's the top layer. Again, telling you everything that's inside it, but we're not going to show you that because spoiler alert. All right. Strike a pose. Just kidding. Put that down. Strike a pose. Just kidding. Okay. Now here's what I like. What I really loved about the Wasp box that came out a couple of years ago, there was like $300 for that one. But I've not only are the records worth it, but what I found really worth it was the booklet that the Wasp box set came with. And this is no exception. This is a nice book. It's about the size of the Wasp one, maybe a little bit smaller, just short, maybe short a few pages from the Wasp one. But still, it's really nice. Inside it, you got lyrics to each album. You can see that with the light glaring. Some artwork there on Tyr. But yeah, you got cool photos. There's Cozy Powell with the band, a cool devil guy right there. I guess I should have practiced like my camera angles and stuff. Yeah, it's just a nice book, right? Smells good. I was joking the other day, I was watching the Metal Voice. It's like one of my favorite channels on YouTube, and Jimmy K, and he did an unboxing of the CD, and he was talking about smelling records, and I thought I was the only one that did that. Me and my drummer, but it's a phenomenon. I said it'd be cool to have a cologne or a perfume that can release of that scent, vinyl CD scent, and maybe for a Dollar Tree version, you could do like cassette or 8-track. Yeah, come on, I'd buy that. That's my cat. Meow, meow. What's up, Tamara? Yeah. Oh, check this out. What it comes with: Black Sabbath. This is a tour book. Now, see, none of us, me anyway, unaware of this stuff that was coming out around the time. I really never got to see him in concert. You know what's funny is like, okay, I'd never seen Black Sabbath in concert. Now that I think about it, it's like, how sad is that? Just never got a chance to. I was either when they were together with the Dio, I was too young. My first concert was Ozzy, Bark at the Moon tour in '84, but after that, I just never got a chance to see Black Sabbath in concert. I wish I would have saw them at the end tour. I think they did come to Portland, Oregon when they reunited, but I somehow missed it for some reason. It's really nice. So that's the tour book. Really nice size. Okay. And check this out. The creme de crop. Huge poster of the Headless Cross. The Headless Cross. All right. Is that nice or what? Okay, now let's go through the records. Now, again, I never really got to listen to these records over the years. I mean, I might have heard songs here and there. I've always liked Tony Martin's voice because he reminds me of a little bit of Dio. Like he kind of, I feel like where they left off with Dio, Tony Martin comes in and sort of has that same kind of sound. Obviously, he doesn't sound like Dio exactly. He's got his own style, definitely, but he's got a closer sound to Dio than he does to like Ozzy or say maybe Glenn Hughes. I haven't really ever listened to the Glenn Hughes Black Sabbath. I need to go back and listen to that. Isn't that on that? What's it called? Before the Eternal Idol, Tony Iommi. It was supposed to be a solo project, but then the record label sort of forced him to call it Tony Iommi's Black Sabbath or Black Sabbath featuring Tony Iommi. I can't think of the title. Something Star, Dark Star, Black Star. Anyway, I never really listened to that too, so I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that. I'm hoping that gets a re-release. I know the Eternal Idol. I listened to that, and that's a good album. I'm hoping that they will maybe re-release that one, even though it's on a different label. But maybe that's a reason why they need to re-release it. So let's go through these records. Okay, put the box right there. The first album we got is Headless Cross. I listened to this in its entirety the other day when I got it, and I'll have to say, right now, this is my favorite one out of all the four that it came with. So it comes with Eternal Idol. No, not it doesn't come with Eternal Idol. It comes with Headless Cross, Tear, yeah, Cross Purposes, and Forbidden. We'll get into Forbidden a little bit. So yeah, this is a good album, man. It's solid, it's dark, it's got some good melodies on it, and that's what I like about Tony Martin's voice too. He's just very melodic. I mean, the dude's got a fucking powerful voice. If you get a chance, check out Tony Martin's last album he put out, his solo album called Thorns. I think it might have been his only solo album he ever did, because I think I looked at his discovery, and I think that's his only solo album, which is shockingly, you'd think this guy would have a lot of records out, but I'm pretty sure he's guest starred on a lot of different bands of music, but he's just got an incredible voice. I mean, in his age, I'm sure he's probably, I know he's older than me, but maybe he's in his mid 60s, like all the guys that we grew up listening to, all in their mid 60s up to 70. And I mean, just like a freak of nature, just can still belt out those amazing vocals. I listened to this record today. Tyr, T-I, is that how you say it? Tyr or Tyre? Is it kind of a Viking type of thing? Viking theme? It was cool. Like, it kind of went by me. Like, I didn't really hear any songs that super stood out. Maybe yeah. I mean, Valhalla. That song was actually really cool. The opening track was really good. Anno Monday. Black Sabbath Tear. This is the next album comes in. All right. Now this one. Okay, so here's another note I gotta say. Geezer Butler didn't play bass on those first two that I showed you. I don't think he played on Eternal Idol either. So yeah, so he didn't play those. But he comes back in the band and plays on this one. And when I put this record on, song wise, it's pretty good. I mean, I'd have to say I like it second next to Headless Cross. I'm gonna have to listen to it again. Maybe it might be even better if I give it another listen. But I know what makes it fucking really good is Geezer Butler's bass. He really when you hear him on this, you realize how important his bass is to Black Sabbath's sound. Everyone talks about Tony Iommi; he's a master riffs and the master of riff making and his heavy guitar sound to tune down and all this stuff like that. And that's true. But Geezer Butler, his bass really, really, really makes the sound. Like he actually puts a stamp on the sound, I believe, because his bass sound, they're just all over the place, and they're following. They're actually underneath. They're following the riffs that Tony does, but in a different way. Like they're just it's like counterpoint or whatever, and it just works so well. And just like I said, when you listen to an album, a Black Sabbath album without Geezer, and you listen to one with, you see the difference. And Tamara, what's wrong? Yeah, now you sound like you had a sore throat. Yeah, I'll give you some attention in a bit. Now let's get into this record, Forbidden. Now this one, I never heard the original mix. Everyone keeps talking about the original mix not being that good. Ernie C of Body Count produced it. It has a guest vocal or guest rap vocal, I guess you could say, from Ice-T. And apparently, from what I understand, from what Tony Iommi was saying, that they agreed to work with Ice-T on one song or something. I think the label was pushing for it. But then they didn't realize that Ice-T was going to bring along Ernie C to produce it, and so they felt like they kind of sprung it onto him or whatever, and so definitely out of his element, or that's what they felt. They felt that it was two different styles that's going to clash. Quit it! Damn. I love my cat. But yeah, so yeah, two different styles was going to clash. But I know, and a funny thing Tony was saying, he said that because Ernie C was trying to tell Cozy Powell how to play a different drum beat, or he's wanting him to play a different style, and Cozy was like, I guess that was the main tension in the studio, was that Cozy Powell wasn't having it. Like you got this young dude or whatever from the world of like rap, maybe rap metal or whatever, whatever Body Count's considered. And telling Cozy Powell, who's this legendary drummer, he's played with Rainbow and Black Sabbath, just Emerson, Lake and Powell, known for his sound, his drum sound, and known for his drum style, and to be told that no, I want you to play it like this. So yeah, that definitely had to hurt in the studio. So I never listened to the original, so I listened to this one, and actually, it's a good album. I find it's a really solid. A lot of people are talking about the songs aren't very good. I think the songs are solid. I think if anything, if I listen to this again, along with Cross Purposes and the Headless Cross, a Tear, I'm gonna have to listen to again as well. But that one just didn't really sit with me too well because, like I said, it just kind of felt like it went in one ear, not the other, except for maybe a couple of songs. But I think about this one really. I listened to this one first before the box set came in. I streamed this one on iTunes like the day I think it was on Thursday because I was just curious, especially after hearing Eddie Trunk's interview with Tony Iommi, and I was really getting into it. I really loved it. I really enjoyed it. So I kind of don't want to go back and listen to the original mix now. But yeah, but there is a song in here, I guess, says they use keyboards on the I can't remember what song it was, but there was keyboards on the original mix, and then they took the keyboards off. And Giles Lavery, the singer of Warlord, and he was posting on Facebook. I guess somebody actually did an AI version where they put the keyboards back, and it sounded cool. It sounded really good. I mean, I don't know. I liked it. I kind of didn't notice it without the keyboards, so I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it again and listen to this version without keyboards. But I like the keyboards underneath it. I thought it was really cool sounding. So yeah, but yeah. So Forbidden, album cover wise, a little bit questionable. Kind of looks like a mix between like a Mad Magazine cover. It almost looks like Mort Drucker, one of my favorite Mad Magazine artists, but I don't think that's him. I don't think he would draw that style right there. Yeah, the album cover is a little bit cheesy, kind of, but cool. And this, I guess, is kind of cool. But yeah, Forbidden. It's a solid album. It's a solid Black Sabbath album. Where do you land with these albums? Like, you a Black Sabbath fan? What's your favorite? Were you really into these albums when they came out? Um, are you one of those that's like, oh, Tony Martin versus Dio versus Ozzy versus Ian Gillian? And you have your favorites or whatever. Drop it in the comments and let me know. Again, I think I like all Black Sabbath. I mean, people could talk about them like, oh, they have too many different singers, and there's too this and that, and Ozzy's better than Dio, Dio's better than Ozzy, Tony's better than this. I think you just if you line them all up and you listen to them all back to back, go through the Ozzy's, go through the Dios, and go through the Tony Martins and the other singers. I think you'll find yourself just enjoying all of it for what they are for that time. Because I feel like the songs are strong. There's some that are weaker than others, of course. I mean, there's songs that, not every song is great on the first album, the first Black Sabbath album with Ozzy. Not every song is great on there's always going to be two or three songs that aren't the greatest, but there's tracks that just stand out. And you're like, okay, I mean, like the title track, The Headless Cross. I mean, I think that's an amazing sounding song. That riff is just amazing. Dun 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 dun. Just I love that. Anyway, so that's what's inside the box. Get it out there and get it. Again, I was able to get it on Amazon for like less than $100, a few dollars less than 100, which is a good price for vinyl. And it might be even going for more. So if you want to get it now, because if you wait too long, you'll have to pay extra in the collector's market, like on Discogs. I think I saw the box set already going for like close to $200 on Discogs for the one that I have. I believe I have the one that was released in Germany, Europe or whatever. So I know there's a worldwide one, which I think that one is, and then there's one that's just US and Canada. I got the worldwide one because there's like a catalog number is different than the US Canada one. But I saw people selling that one, the same one that I got for $94, selling it for $174. I'm like, what? Anyway, like I said, I took a little bit of a break. I'm going to try to get back into some more videos. Just a lot of stuff going on with work and everything. Just trying to get a bunch of files done and everything else. And I gotta put the time in, man. If I want to get paid and pay the bills, all that good stuff. Because YouTube doesn't pay the bills. I'm not one of those YouTubers that can like make a living off YouTube. I don't really care to. I just do this for fun. It's fun just to blab about music and just do whatever I do. I'm not into it. Like, if money happens to come out of it, then that's cool. That's just icing on the cake. You do things because you love it, not because you want to get paid from it. Getting paid is determined on how much you love it and how much you stick to it and what you do to do it. So anyway, it's a crazy world out there with all the politics and shit and religious and all this stuff. Don't let it get to you. Stay up, stay positive. Even when the chips are down, just keep your head up. It's the only way you'll power through it. You could give in to the negativity and just, wallow into it, put your head in the sand. Or you can just live life. Get into some music, live life. All right. So, horns up. Wait, I haven't did this in so long. I forgot my little ending. Horns up and peace out. We'll see you next time on The Metal Block. Wait, where's that?